Is the email newsletter dead? The Lewis family is cultured, so very, very cultured. That's how we found ourselves on Sunday listening to the Soweto Gospel Choir at the Spiegel Tent of the Sydney Fringe Festival. The Spiegel Tent is near the offices of the publisher of the Australian edition of Rolling Stone, which I noticed is wrapped in gigantic prints of its March 2023 cover. The cover asks, is political satire dead? This question goes some way to explaining why magazines feel tired. Perhaps editors are like policemen. They keep getting younger, so they haven't been around long enough to bore of the "Is X dead?" headline. The rest of us do get older, better, as they say, than the alternative, and we've heard it all before. Wired made a splash in 2010 by declaring the web dead. They were making a point about videos and apps using more of the world's bandwidth than text-based web pages, but that was lost beneath the buzz the headline generated. Even longer ago, Francis Fukuyama declared the end of history in 1992. That was a real pain for me personally. If Fukuyama had got there a few years faster, I'd have been spared my history A-level. Sorry, Mr. James, haven't you heard? History ended. And of course, even before all that, video was supposed to kill the radio star. This idea that video would kill all media invented and yet to be invented is the cockroach of the genre. It won't die. Thus, I lean, as Sheryl Sandberg would have the ladies do, into video to see what happens. This newsletter you're reading went multimedia in July, which is when I started recording audio and video versions. There are no bells and whistles to the AV of the newsletter. It's me at my desk reading the newsletter aloud seconds after I've finished writing it, and often no more than 15 minutes before you get it. The idea is simple, especially when it comes to adding the videos to YouTube. I've already done the hard work by writing the email. Producing an audio and a video version is about 15 minutes of easy work. The audio-video versions expose me to an audience that might not otherwise find the newsletter. The more videos I have on YouTube, the greater the surface area that Taylist presents to the world. More topics, more angles, more subject lines to gain attention. The videos continue to be watched, even as they get older, unlike a video on, say, LinkedIn, which is a limp balloon within hours. The numbers on YouTube are small, but early indications are encouraging. I get the impression that I'm whipping up a rising tide on YouTube. That rising tide will be useful to get some videos I have in the works in front of more people. Right now, I'm mentioning this video amplifies not kills the newsletter writer, because spreading this newsletter over YouTube is an example of thinking of your content as an asset. Those who are stuck dancing for social media algorithms become conditioned to settle for gambling on whether their hard work will even be seen, being okay with their posts having the lifespan of a tissue in flu season, having no idea who's seen a post, and knowing they can never be sure of reaching those readers ever again. Having an email newsletter opens you up to a mindset of growing an asset that you own and control, being able to predict and repeat results. A thriving email newsletter gives you permission to think bigger than the small dream social media algorithms allow you. That way of thinking can change everything. If thinking bigger is something you'd like to do, you should join me in Newsletter Magic. Stephen. You've been watching or listening to The Obvious Choice, the Taylist newsletter. The links to Newsletter Magic are in the show notes. Newsletter Magic is my 5-week course on running a personality-driven email newsletter that could change your marketing forever. It's certainly the marketing engine of my business. You can get the aforementioned email newsletter, the Taylist email newsletter, directly to your inbox by subscribing at taylist.agency/newsletter. That's another link that's in your show notes.